Siya Ram. Hope all of you are healthy, happy, safe and sound. I, Vibhoo Bajpai, welcome all our viewers to the 6th episode of Raghunath, a program where we discuss about the events of Ramayana and what some amazing performances connected with the narrative. So let's begin today's episode with discussion. We all know what a villain Ravan was, but how many of us know the story of his presence and the purpose of his existence? This story is from Satyuga, when Lord Vishnu resided in Vaikuntha. Jay and Vijay are his gatekeepers or Dwarpalak. One day, Lord Vishnu called in Jay and Vijay and said that he wanted to take some rest and therefore should be no disturbance. He asked them not to send any visitors in, although Lord Vishnu never refused to see his visitors. Probably this was the first and only time he asked Jay and Vijay to do something like this. But as we all know that Shri Vishnu is the ultimate deity and all his deeds have several reasons. At the same time, some unexpected guests came to Vaikuntha. They were none other than Sanakanandan Kumars. Sanak, Sanat Kumar, Sananandan and Sanatana. They had received boon from Lord Brahma, one in which they will never grow older than the age of 5. Thus, despite of immense and deep knowledge that they garnered, they had the sparkle of children and had no malice. They could meet anyone in the universe whom they wanted to meet without any barriers. When they were so pure, why will even the god stop them? Jay and Vijay were in dilemma, because stopping the Kumars will be their insult and letting them in will go against their duty. Thus, Jay and Vijay sided with their duty and stopped Kumars from entering Vaikuntha. Furious from this act, the Kumars cursed Jay and Vijay to be away from their lord for a long period of time. This curse meant that Jay and Vijay had to be separated from their lord. After all this mishappening, Jay and Vijay were sad and depressed. Later, Lord Vishnu came out and smiled, showing as if he knew what had happened, and said, "When an employee makes a mistake, the owner too has to pay for it. And so Jay and Vijay, whatever curse you have received from the Kumars also applies to me. The pain of separation that you have to go through also applies to me. I too have to go through the same pain." The Kumars said to Jay and Vijay that the curse cannot be taken back, but both of you can together choose and complete one of the following sentences before you come back to your original status. The first option was to be away from Shri Vishnu on earth for 7 lives and teach human beings how to live an ideal and good life and preach mankind what is good and what is bad. And the second option was to live away from Lord Vishnu on earth for 3 lives as enemy of Shri Vishnu. The sequences of what will happen between you and Shri Vishnu will go down in the history and teach mankind the path of dharma. In both the cases, you will be teaching mankind how to live a good life. And with that, the Kumars disappeared. Jay and Vijay were delighted that Lord Vishnu chose them for this noble cause. They chose the second option with the intention of returning to Lord Vishnu early. In time, they came to be known on earth in Satyuga as Hiranyakashyap and Hiranyaksh, when Lord Vishnu took the incarnation of Narsimha. In Treta Yuga, they were incarnated as Ravan and Kumbhakarna, when Lord Vishnu took the incarnation of Shri Ram. And in Dwapar Yuga, they were known as Shishupal and Dantavaktra, when Shri Vishnu took the incarnation of Shri Krishna. So this was the backstory behind the presence of Ravan in Treta Yuga, without whom the Ramayana is incomplete. Although Rava's actions were inappropriate, yet had a cause of teaching mankind the path of dharma, the path that should not be chosen, the path which is not good for neither the individual nor the society. He performed various misdeeds, yet his talents cannot be undermined. He was a master in literature, dance, music, Vastu Shastra, architecture. He played wonderful mridangam and authored Lal Kitab, that is a book on astrology that even today people refer to for learning. He wrote the famous Shivatandav Stotram, which even today is a masterpiece. His thinking abilities were so high that people said he had 10 heads. All of this was to teach people that education and talent are not enough to walk on the path of dharma. Professional competence is not just enough to be right and appropriate. One needs to have compassion, empathy, wisdom, patience, commitment, and love for humanity and mankind in order to be on the path of dharma and be appropriate. So this was all for today's discussion. Now moving on to the next segment of our episode, today's performance. Today's performance is connected with the biggest turning points in the tale of Ramayana, Sita Haran. After Ravan abducted Devi Sita and was on the way to take her to his Lanka, it was Jatayu who tried to stop him, and later on, when he was unsuccessful in this mission of saving Devi Sita, he helped Ram in finding direction of Lanka, as he was the only one who knew who had abducted Devi Sita. All Ram knew is that Sita has lost her way. So watch this wonderful and powerful performance based on Jatayu Vad. I hope you all will like this performance. See you all in the next episode. Till then, Jai Raghunath.
खंजर सुख कपोत मृग